Today, the Nigerian police force is set to display, to present to the public criminals from different angles arrested with the weapons and everything they have. On the display today, we have different kind of gun, AK-47, weapon, live ammunition, ATM, money, and many other things. I know one that will surprise many people today is the charms recovered from Yahoo boys who are increasing the level of their operations from Yahoo boys to Yahoo Plus. Laptop, phone, iPad, POS machine, drinks, and different assorted charms were recovered from them. Why should our people continue in this habit, despite the fact that daily police are arresting numbers of them? Also today, a lady is among the people, about 47, a number of 40 something, a number of people, numbers of people that are about to be paraded. You'll be surprised to know the actions or the role that the lady is carrying out. Here among them, I'm made to know that some are schooling, learning how to be a Yahoo Plus, while kidnappers. One of interest, again, is armed robber robbing another armed robber. Vehicle are also recovered from them. But let me not bore you with explanation. It will be good that you hear from them. In a short while, the public relations officer of Nigerian Police Force is going to let us into everything that they've discovered. The people that carried out the job is the Department of IRT and STS are the people that carried out the arrest, the investigation, and many other things. They are jointly going to present them to you in a short while. I'm Bemiga Olamiko. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, GTV Africa, also our Facebook page, GTV Africa Services. Subscribe to the YouTube, like our Facebook page, listen to events.
So this one you can wear it.
Ask him now. Just point him.
No, touch him.
Use this one for people who come for suicide, to detect what will happen to them in future. This one is to pass spirit, to cleanse somebody of bad spirit. Which one? Don't see that. So when you hold this one to hand, you will be able to protect what the person has done or what the person has come to seek for.
What of this? Why you don't know? Okay, so all right. We're gonna point
Agba.
Happy birthday. Okay, no, your birthday. You start.
This one, please, for what? For people. And other citizens who are here to witness yet another parade of suspects. And of course, I say a very good afternoon to our brothers and sisters who are the suspects. You are all welcome to yet another parade of suspects by the NPF. Today, we are trying to bring you up to speed on some of our key achievements, specifically the achievements by operatives of the Force Intelligence Bureau, specifically the STS, the ILT, and also one of our new sections. A summary of the statistics today shows that we have a total of 48 suspects. 47 of them are male, while one is a female. A total of 27 weapons of assorted meat were recovered. 14 of them of the Kalashnikov family. 2 are submachine guns, 1 pump action, a Beretta pistol, and other kinds of weapons. We also recovered laptops, phones, POS machines, and assorted charms. The suspects before you are suspects who have been properly investigated, profiled, and prima facie cases of kidnapping, murder, armed robbery, cattle rustling, cybercrime, unlawful possession of prohibited weapons, and other related offenses clearly established against them. In order to make today's parade easier to follow and to comprehend, we'll be bringing out the suspects in batches. And the first set of suspects before you are a group of young men who were all arrested here in the Federal Capital Territory. Investigation shows clearly that they are all participants in either past or ongoing fraud-related cases advance fee fraud, obtaining under false pretenses, and other related internet scams, popularly known as Yahoo in this part of the world. They are 13 in all, and their age bracket is between 22 and 30. Some of them, beyond the internet's fraud and scams, also go ahead to introduce a fetish component to the crime they commit. This part of it is something that is beyond us to investigate because these are metaphysical. We are trained to investigate crimes that are empirically and forensically establishable and not to deal with issues of metaphysics. From this set of suspects, 18 phones of different makes, 2 laptops, 1 iPad, 1 POS machine, 9 ATM cards, and other related items were recovered. The young men operate their trade under different pretenses. Some of them claim to be American soldiers on peacekeeping mission in Iraq, create profiles with fake names, fake identity, fake pictures, and portray themselves as such, and post these pictures on dating websites, and then go about looking for victims, usually female American citizens. And once you fall in love with them, they begin to extort money endlessly from you. Some of them claim to be medical doctors. Others claim to be engineers handling key operations in China or in other parts of the world. In one of the interesting cases, one of them claims to be a sugar daddy. And what he does is get young women, again foreigners, and promise to place them on weekly, monthly, or quarterly allowances and get them to part with their bank details to him. And once he gets these bank details, they could use them for all kind of criminal enterprise, including using those bank details to warehouse money that have been criminally obtained from other victims, and then use those bank details, those accounts, to actually distribute and collect such money. About 4 of them, 3 or 4 of them, are novice in the business, and so they are clearly apprentices learning the Yahoo trade. We will allow you to interact with them. One specifically uses charms to also advance his trade. And you can see this and that. He told us that these are favor eliciting charms. So these are some of the things he uses to make sure his prospective victims but they choose to call them clients, get to love him and pay timelessly. At this juncture, I will allow you to interact with them, and thereafter we move to the next stage.
Good afternoon. My name is Light John. I'm from Akwa Ibom State. Okay. On the 19th of February, by 7:30 a.m., the police force, the Nigerian police force, came into our compound and arrested all of us. After which, we came here and we were asked what we do, and it was cybercrime, or it is cybercrime. Okay. What is I did? Okay. This is my soap, the one I use in bathing, and this was given to me by. This is my soap, the one I use in bathing. This is my soap, the one I use in bathing. I use black soap to bath. But this was given to me by a priest. This was given to me by an imam. I met him and told him that I need favor. So he gave me this, that I should be using it in the morning and evening. Okay, this I use it, I just drink from it in the morning and in the evening. That's how I use it. I have not yet seen any physical impact. I can't lie about that. No. No, I stopped using it. I couldn't see any impact, so I had to stop using it. It's just there.
How much did you pay and how many people have you hit now? How many customers have you got before you?
Like I said, I have not seen any impact. I don't even know what even inspired me.
How much did you pay to get those from the imam and
10,000. 10,000 naira.
Did you tell him you wanted to use it for this? Did you tell him exactly why you wanted that?
Yes.
That you wanted to use it for cybercrime?
No, favor. I want to attract favor.
Tell us about the profile.
How old are you?
Hold on. Tell them about the profile and all what you do there. So that, hold on. Yeah, said it.
Okay, my profile. I claim to be a long reach official. And if you want to get long reach goods from China, I could help you process it. But still, it's not progressing.
Thank you. Sit down.
From your educational background and your profile. What do you do? How do you come to oh, yeah?
I'm famous Bolaneva. I'm 24 years old. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Ogun State. Famous Bolaneva. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Ogun State. I attended Footmina University. I'm the sugar daddy, and I operate on Grinder, which I seek for young lady, and ask them for their account because we give them weekly allowance and stuff like that.
How long have you been doing this?
Just last year, sir.
So how many?
Just one.
One.
Yes, sir.
Tell us how you
We promised to give her weekly allowance, and she gave us her account. Then put money inside. Then we put money inside the account, and we shared the money.
Okay, thank you.
stand close.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, my brother.
I'm Adle Ayomide.
Listen now, listen.
My name is Adle Ayomide. I'm from Ekiti State. I claim to be a United States soldier. My mode of operandum is that I claim that I'm a US soldier and I look for age under 50, 60 years old. So after falling in love with me, I will ask you to apply for my leave permit. That's all I do, sir.
How do you get them to part money? The money you ask them to give you is for what?
It's for the leave permit.
Do they pay for your ticket to go on leave and see them?
No tickets, sir. They will only apply for the leave permit. After applying for the leave permit, they will have to pay for the form for the leave permit.
How much do you normally ask them for leave permit?
I've not had any victims, sir.
But how much is the target?
It depends on their worth.
It depends on their worth. So what range do you look at?
It depends on how much she says she can afford.
Between what amount and what amount do you normally look at?
I will have to ask you what an asset before giving you the billing.
So the ones you have given billing before, like how much did you give them, even though they did not pay?
19,000 euro.
19,000 euro. Have you either successfully gotten any money, either by yourself or through another person before?
I've not succeeded on my own, sir. And I've never even, the last one I tried to succeed, the person ran away with the money to Turkey.
Another of your guy took the money, diverted the job.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so another fraudster defrauded you.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been in the business?
Not up to 2 years, sir.
Not up to 2 years.
Nothing, sir. Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. Chief wives, come and carry you. And the young women who wants Kiari to marry them, come and carry you. Abdul Jibril is an armed robbery gang consisting of 5 young men. The members of the gang are Ali Sule, 26 years of age from Kogi State, Abdurrahman Usman, 21 years of age from Kogi State, Yakubu Mohammed, 24 years of age from Kogi State, Samuel Adrian, 21 years of age from Benue State, and Abdul Jubril, 31 years of age from Kogi State. This gang, led by Ali Sule, had earlier attacked 2 policemen riding on a bike. The policemen were in motion and they were able to take advantage of their vulnerability in bringing them down and taking away their rifles. Luckily, both of them survived, and they are back to work already. But following that incident, operatives of IRT opened up investigations, and a careful follow-up on the case eventually led to the arrest of these gang members after they had successfully carried out a robbery operation in a pharmaceutical shop somewhere in Kubwa. In that incident, Kama was at work as one of the robbers in the course of trying to fire, equally fired himself. And eventually, police operatives were able to trace and effect the arrest of one of the gang members, leading to the arrest and subsequent recovery of the 2 rifles. And these are the rifles. All the suspects here played very active roles in the series of offenses, the serious assault on the police officers, the stealing of the weapons, the armed robbery, and other related crimes they committed. The good news is the fact that we have taken them out of circulation, and Kubwa residents are better off for it. We continue to thank citizens who have continually supported us with accurate and timely information, and we urge the good citizens of this country not to stop in supporting us in that regard. At this stage, I will let you interact very briefly with them, and we'll proceed to the next case.
Good afternoon. My name is Suleiman Ali. I come from Kogi State. I be 26 years old. How this arm will take enter our is that actually we plan to get how we take get the armory. And my guys, they see two police where they drive machine for that Gwagwa road. So on how they say early morning around 5, they challenge them, cut cashew tree, use and flog the one where drive machine. They fall down. They collect the 2 AK for their arm. Immediately they collect them, they go hide them for inside bush like 1 month. So as 1 month don't reach, where I don't see one pharmacy, I can't tell them say to offer this thing today to waste like this. I get one pharmacy there our side, you offer no shop and now they come. We go that pharmacy. As we go that pharmacy, we come meet them, we lower them. As we charge them where they no get money. Money I get for them at 35,000 and laptop and phone, 3 phones. But we no shoot anybody. As we no shall be shoot the gun, where we dey cock am, my hand come mistakenly touch the brake. I can't shoot my leg.
Ali Sule is a very cooperative suspect. Ali Sule is a very honest suspect. And we hope that he will be able to undergo proper rehabilitation and use his strength and talent to serve this country better rather than using them to commit crime. Thank you. We have yet another set of suspects. These suspects operate a criminal syndicate very mobile in nature. They operate within the metropolis of the Federal Capital Territory. Kubwa Expressway and other adjoining busy roads within the Federal Capital Territory. We have 5 members of the gang, 4 males and 1 female. We have, and if I call your name, you stand up. Lillian Obidibo. Ike Chukwu, 48 years of age, from Imo State. Look that way. Remove your mask completely. Good. Franklin James Obona, 37 years of age, alias Pastor, is from Ebonyi State. Chinwendu Oma, 37 years of age, from Abia State. And Ogbonna Taye from Ekiti State. Remove your mask, my friend. This gang specializes in picking up innocent persons. They pose as town service providers, or they pose as shuttle drivers or cab drivers or commercial taxis. And once you get into the vehicle, they begin to stage you. Lillian is a permanent feature because she stays in the car all the time. Her presence in the car is to give you a sense of safety, a pseudo sense of safety, a false sense of safety. Her presence in the car erroneously reassures you that you are not with criminals. And once you get into the car, they will start off a conversation. And the conversation can take different forms. The conversation can be one of them claiming that he's a house help and he has stolen some money from his boss. And some persons will say, let's go to the police, and others will say, no, let's not go to the police. And the person who has stolen the money will claim that though he has stolen this money, the money contains some charm, and they might not be able to make use of the money until the charms are taken away. And then again, Lillian will come in handy by recommending a pastor that can carry out a cleansing of the money. And once that happens, Franklin James Ogbonna will be contacted, and eventually they will take the victim there and the story will continue to expand. We've also seen in the past where this type of syndicate will also come up with other stories, such as one of them claiming to be a foreigner, probably a Togolese or someone from Benin Republic, and claim to be in distress. And then one story will lead to another until they will bring out a box containing court-to-size papers that will be presented to you as if they are huge sums of money. You'll be required to pay money for makery, You'll be required to buy oil and all kind of stories. Unfortunately, because of ignorance, sometimes a combination of ignorance and greed, a lot of citizens fall victims. And it is because they are still making money, that's why they are in the business. Therefore, my message and the major reason why we choose to put these people out today is to alert residents of Abuja and other cities in the country that local job men, local 419ers are still thriving and they are still operating. A lot of their contemporaries have moved on to Yahoo. The difference between the Yahoo business and this syndicate is the fact that while the Yahoo boys have gone digital, these local job men are still doing analog. But they are just birds of the same feather. They are one coin, just of different faces. They are all preying on the vulnerability of the global citizens, taking advantage of the innocence, the greed of people, and fleecing them of thousands of naira. They are all motivated by the desire to get rich quick, and they all thrive on false stories and fraudulent practices. We'll certainly be charging them to court as soon as we tidy up investigations. And if you have been victim of this crime in the past, please come up to the investigators at the IRT office here so that we can build up even stronger and better case against them. Thank you. One of their mobile offices is one of their tools, their trade tools. Any question for them? Go and see no more. Two suspects before you, and please, if I call your name, take down your mask. The first is Issa Usman. Issa, oh no, stop that. End of the press, we have before you two male suspects. The first one is Musa Usman. Musa Usman is aged 61 years. He is from Sokoto State, but currently resides in Anambra State. He lives at Ozobolo and from there he plies his trade. The second is Ahmed Shaibu. He is 27 years of age and he is from Nasarawa State, and he actually resides in Nasarawa State. The duo were arrested in connection with unlawful possession and distribution of illicit drugs suspected to be cocaine. If you follow the trajectory of crimes, not just in Nigeria but elsewhere in the world, you will understand clearly that illicit drugs such as cocaine and marijuana and other kind of illicit drugs, including tramadol and the rest of them, have become enablers of crime. These drugs provide criminals, particularly those involved in very violent crimes, with Dutch courage and put them in that state of ecstasy where they kill without conscience. They burn and commit arson without thinking about it. These two suspects have been investigatively linked with some of the dangerous bandits operating in the Nasarawa axis, and they provide them and supply them with these drugs, while Musa Usman sources, transports the drugs to Nasarawa. Ahmed Shaibu acts as the link man between Usman and the bandits and other dangerous criminals. There are two things we are doing to weaken the hold of the terrorists, the kidnappers, and the bandits in our country. One, cutting off their supply chains for drugs, and two, cutting off their supply chain for arms and ammunition. These two things are very important to us in decimating and weakening the hold of these criminals in the areas that they are currently operating and facilitating the arrest of these criminals. And this is exactly what our operatives from STS did when they followed up on these criminals, effected these arrests, and recovered some of these products you've just seen. Musa Usman is physically challenged, and he takes advantage of that in beating security checks. We hope this arrest will open up more arrests to enable us dismantle the gang behind the supply of those dangerous drugs to these dangerous criminals. Thank you. Where you live, tell them how you were arrested with these products.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Musa Usman. So I come from Anambra State. And arrest me in Nasarawa State. with 20 grams of cocaine. Thank you.
How you dey get the cocaine and how much you dey sell am?
I said the cocaine, I spent 10,000 each gram. I get them from Anambra State.
How much?
Huh?
How long you don dey into am and how much you pay for the business?
I never changed to the business. I entered December 23, the first business where I supply. Each 10,000, they give me 8,000. I get 2,000 naira inside. Yes. If I buy for Dogu. No, you get to where with the mate. He can never allow you to go in house.
So wait, please, as you dey do am so, as you dey how you dey take dey carry am dey pass wey police no dey catch you? Wetin dey do wey dey no dey catch you?
No, I just dey carry am for inside bag. I don't hide them anything. I don't hide it. If I carry am for bag or pocket.
So how they come take catch you?
No, they're not through tracking.
Thank you. That's an armed robbery gang that operates mainly in Benue State, Makurdi axis and environ. Some of them are also facilitators for persons trying to illegally acquire firearms. Three pistols were recovered from them, and the first three suspects sitting close to me, take down your marks, pick up your pistol. Raise it up. That's your pistol. Drop it. Stand up. Remove your mask. Pick up your pistol. Drop it. Stand up. Pick up your pistol. Drop it. They have a native doctor who specializes in preparing charms, protection charms, and all kind of charms for them. Native doctor, move to the front. Remove your mask. Stay here. Stay behind. Remove your mask. Stay this way. Come this way. Now face your charms. Who owns all these things?
Which language?
I mean.
When they don't attack.
Okay, now me get this thing. Oh.
You dey work for these people? Which of them you dey do charm for? Point am.
There's different people used to come. You cannot recognize them.
I go back. The bottom line is these guys have been terrorizing Benue State. Benue is better off without them in circulation. And we're still following up on some of the other gang members. And we are assuring the people of Benue State that this investigation will be conclusively and diligently done, and those people will be properly prosecuted. Thank you. us. They did not take the money to the bank, and then they spend their money from their Ghana Must Go bag. They also conceived an idea of setting up a POS business and approached a man who has been into the business for a very long time and gave him 3 million to start the business by the side. Another thing that happened with this gang is that in one of their missions to Adamawa, a robbery gang attacked them. They were forced to halt. The gang members got them to lie down. And in that situation, they were lying down in the bush when, luckily for them, another vehicle arrived, and the gang members that were robbing these gang members were distracted because they tried to rob the new vehicle. They got that window of opportunity, opened their boots, brought out their own rifles, and chased the other gang members away. You recall the last time in this same place we told you a story of a kidnapper that was kidnapped by a kidnapper. Today, we are telling you the story of an armed robbery gang that was robbed by an armed robbery gang. We will allow at least 2 members of this gang to speak to you. Yusuf Abubakar will give you a short background, while Dahiru will tell us the story of how they were robbed by another armed robbery gang.
Niswana Yusuf Abubakar, Idan Taraba State. Shekara 31. Na yi kidnapping hudu. Guda biyu nan dai Fulani mu ne. Hudu dai muka yi, Amina manta daya. Dukansu uku nan ga Fulani mu ne na daji. Sai ɗan nan kuma shine Barisa Bafe. Kun je mun kai 8. Sani Yunusa. Ba shi nan. To kowa dai sun je da nasu. Miliyan 30. To ni dai kudina na tare da magidana suna boro, zan zare da kun ita kashewa. To dama shi zai harka zai bude shago. Nace zaka bude shago yanzu ana zargin muna kina fa in ka bude shago kan ba sai ta tabbata muna yi kenan ba. To ba shi shawari sai ya bari. So daga ba kuma yace ya magana da Idi Suleiman kana su harkan POS. Yace to wannan harka ne na boye gara shi. So sai na goye shi a mashin da kudi a irin wancan boro. Miliyan 3. Su muka zo na zo saka da shi a gun shagon Idi Suleiman ni sana tafi Jalingo na Kangara. Ga shan.
Okay, let me translate what he said. He said his name is Yusuf Abubakar. He's 31 years old. He's from Taraba State. He confessed that he have participated in 4 kidnappings in Taraba. And he said 2 they are fellow Fulani people. Then one other person, and the last person they kidnapped, he said is one barrister Bashir Bape, who is a member of the Taraba State House of Assembly. Eventually, they collected 30 million from that kidnapping, and he said they sorted out the other gang members, but their own share with his boss. They normally keep the money in a Ghana must go, and they will be spending it at their own time. So, but the boss now told him that let them open a shop so that they can start selling provisions and other stuffs. But he advised the boss that no, if they open shop, people will know that they have money and they will start asking them questions, where did you get the money? So he advised that they should go in for a coded business where nobody would know that they are involved. So that was how the issue of the POS business came in. So they now contacted one of their friends who is very conversant with the POS business, and they invested 3 million into that. Then he said it is 8 of them that went for the job, and as Apostle said, the second member of the group will also shed light on the attack that happened to them when they were going to Adamawa State. Yeah, thank you. You can sit down. Yeah, sure. Kuma shi kai mana bayani 'yan fashin da suka tare ku akan hanyar Adamawa lokacin da kuke zuwa. Ka ji ko? Yawa.
Salamu alaikum. Sunana Ahmad Dairo daga Taraba State, a Babagasa local government. Shekara da 28. Mun je kidnappers guda biyu a Adamawa. Ɗaya an samu, ɗaya ba a samu ba, an jawo empty. Gaskiya barawo da barawo kasan baya shiri. To don haka ni na godewa Allah, na godewa al'umma, ƙungiyan IRT. Dalilin wannan ya zama karatu game da rayuwar ɗan adam, da wanda zai yi, da wanda yake niyan yi, da wanda yake niyan bari, ya zama karatu ne. A gaskiya ani in na yi zan ce ma na yi, ko ka kashe ni baka da laifi a gurina, ban da hakki a kowa. Adamawa muna ɗauke su 3, bindiga guda 2 a boot, yake ne dukansu 2. Muna tafiya mun kusa jeren, sai ga barayi guda 4 da adduna suka yi blocking hanya. Ina isowa aka faka ni na tsaya. Guri ya samu group kenan ko? Shi kenan an cigo hannu kenan. To ni ban da komai, yanzu dai ga ta yi an ce ko in samu ta bullet bari in samu ta bullet ba. Har ga Allah ban san iya ake ita da ita ma wallahi a samu ta bullet. Sai a kwartar da mu a ƙasa, aka ɗauki wayana ya bugi da adda a nan. Shi kenan sai mota guda 2 suka zo hilos da buhuna a kai da jama'a a kai, sun ga mutane wanda suka fi namu yawa, ga inda za a je a samu kuɗi. Suka tafi, ja'oji ya tashi ya ɗaga boot ya ɗauki karfinsa, yake ne ya bi su a baya. Sun tare mota ya iso, suna saukar da mutane ya kawo kai, da ya rabar ɗaya 2 sun yi haka, maudin ma mun yi haka kuma a kaga an rabu lafiya. To jama'a ƙungiyar RRT na gode an kashe maciji ba cire kai ba. Ina son mutum uku nake so wanda ina so in kawo a ungiyar IRT, in ba haka ba shike na da zuciya baya kwanciya a gurina ne.
Okay, translation. He said his name is Ahmed Dairu. He is 28 years old. He's also from Taraba State. He said him and his gang have also participated in many kidnappings, and he's the driver of the gang. And he said they went to Adamawa twice for their kidnappings, but they succeeded in one. But in the second one, they came back empty-handed. While the remaining kidnappings took place in Taraba. So initially he was saying that he was thanking God and thanking IRT for arresting him, that he has learned lessons now, and he has been urging other criminals also to stop criminality because it's not good. So he now narrated the story of how they were going to Adamawa State for another kidnapping. Then suddenly along the road, they saw some armed robbers came out to block the road. So they were stopped by those armed robbers, and because of the fact that their arms were inside the boot, they had no strength to challenge the armed robbers. So they were asked to come down from the car, and they were asked to lie down on the ground, and his phones were taken. So in the process of robbing them, then two other vehicles came with more people in it. So the armed robbers saw an opportunity of getting more money from those people, those two cars that came. So they now rushed those two cars. As they were concentrating on those two cars, one of his gang members, Jauje, now was able to crawl to the car, open the boot of their car, and took one of the AK-47 rifles and engaged the armed robbers. So as he started firing on them, those armed robbers now escaped into the bush. So that was how they were able to rescue those people from the two cars and themselves. So, sorry? Sorry? So he also said that it's always very bad when an armed robber meets an armed robber. That was one of the things he said. And he's also an active member of the group that kidnapped the honorable member of House Assembly in Taraba State. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's a good question. It's a good question. Wait, Tashi. Wai da wancan barayin nan da suka tare ku, don me ku ba ku ga musu mu ma fa ƴan wane mu ma barayi ne, ai dan ku faɗa haka za su yi sake ku, don me ba ku ga musu haka ba?
Oga kaga ka fito na fito mu haɗu a duhu a lokacin bara a zaman to kai barawo ne barawo ba, sai iri wannan ya faru. So suna nema mu kuma mu tafi za mu tafi nema, kaga sun riga mu gate kenan. To mu kuma ba gate muke yi ba. Ina oga ba zai hadu ba.
Okay, he said that they cannot introduce themselves because they are also going out to look for money. They themselves, they are going to Adamawa to look for money, while these guys also came out to look for money. So therefore, there is no way that they will introduce themselves as they are also armed robbers, and they will never get favor from those guys. They said those guys will not give them any favor. So that's why they refused to introduce themselves. Yeah. Mm. Okay, so Sanunku.
On October 1st, 2020, at about 8:30 to 9 p.m., a young Nigerian, Shem Keta, first 2020, at about between the hours of 8:30 and 9 p.m., a young Nigerian known as Shem Keta, an indigenous of Kaduna State but resident in Abuja, was taking a walk somewhere around Zone 4. He was on one of those lonely bridges when he was attacked from behind. His phone A Nokia phone, exactly the phone I'm holding, was eventually stolen from him. Shem collapsed and fell into a state of unconsciousness. No help was forthcoming, and Shem remained in that state until the next day, when some good-spirited citizens contacted the Federal Road Safety, believing that it was a road accident. The road safety responded, conveyed Shem of blessed memory to the National Hospital. Unfortunately, he gave up the ghost. His family members and his neighbors were thrown into a panic state. 24 hours later, they couldn't find Shem. They were lost as at what has happened. The matter was reported to the local police station, where the case was incidented as a case of a missing person. Days after days, weeks after weeks, Shem was not found. And then eventually the case was escalated to the Force Headquarters level, where the Force Intelligence Bureau took up the case. Detailed forensic investigation and analysis led eventually to the arrest of 2 male suspects. One, Emmanuel Seriki, who incidentally is also from Kaduna State, and Abubakar Mohammed, who is a notorious hard drug hawker and thug operating in Wuse area. He's from Kebbi State. Series of arrests were made. Eventually, the phone was recovered. And through very diligent investigation, detectives were able to trace the sequence of events that led to his death, reconstruct the crime, reconstruct the scene, and follow through to the National Hospital, where a diligent search for his body was conducted. Luckily, Shem had not been buried as unknown and unclaimed corpse, and so the body was found. His relatives and family members were brought in, and the lifeless body was positively identified as that of Shem Keta. Forensic autopsy was conducted, confirming the initial reconstructed crime scene. He has since been buried. The suspects are equally admitted to the crimes and the different roles they played. There are 2 key lessons for us here and 2 key messages for us here. Number 1, citizens must learn to take precautions when going out for either early morning walks and joggings or late evening walks and jogging. If you must go out for an early morning walk or a late evening walk, you must avoid lonely roads. You must also avoid dark corners of the cities. And you must conduct your walks and your joggings on areas that are appropriately, elaborately lighted. Secondly, citizens must remember that there is security in numbers. One of the simplest precautionary measures you can take while going for a walk or an early morning jogging or late evening jogging is to make sure you do that in groups, in group of two, in pairs of two, or in group of 3, 4, 5. There is security in number, and suspects, criminals, and potential attackers will be wary of carrying out an attack on you or carrying out an attack on your group when you are in such numbers. And then the other part of it is the need for citizens to know that we must be each other's keeper. We must be our brother's keepers. We must be our sister's keepers. It took over 24 hours for the attention of the law enforcement communities to be drawn to the fact that another Nigerian was lying helplessly on a street corner. I don't want to believe that nobody saw that body all the while. If you are scared of going into the police station or going into the fire service office or the road safety office or the military base office or even the civil defense office, please take advantage of the control room numbers, dial the control room numbers, provide this information, and avoid a one-on-one contact with the security agents. But pass this information and we will respond. Thank you.
Well, you've just listened to Commissioner of Police Frank Kumba about happenings that's going on all around. Obstruction.